Hello dear learners, this is Dr. Sedhupathy, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Dr. S.M.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. So today in this video we are going to learn about syntax of user-defined functions in C programming language. Agenda for today's discussion will be syntax of a function and argument list or parameter list and scope of a function and function naming rules in C programming and how function returning a value and control access from calling function to call function and as vice versa. So here is the syntax of a function. Here return type, function name and parameter list is the header of the user defined function and inside the curly parenthesis body of the function available. In this syntax, RET type is the return type which specifies the type of data that the function returns. A function may or may not return of data except an array. Default return type is int for user defined functions in C. The parameter list or formal arguments is a comma separated list of variable names and their associated data types. The parameters receive the values of arguments when the function is called from the calling function. A function can be without parameters. An empty parameter list can be explicitly specified as such by placing the keyword void inside the parenthesis. Sometimes it may not be specified. If the parameter list is given as blank, by default it will be considered as without parameter or no argument in that function. And here is the argument or parameter list description with a real-time example. So type variable 1, type variable 2, etc. and so on type variable, and you can declare several variables to be of the same type by using a comma separated list of variable names inside the parenthesis. In contrast, all function parameters must be declared individually. You are not supposed to declare function parameter list like normal declaration by comma separated variable names, each including both type and name of the variable. Here is some of the examples. What is correct way of declaration, what is not correct way of declaration of parameters or arguments inside the function. F int a, int k, int j is a correct way of declaring 3 integer variables, whereas second line denotes k is a wrong way of declaration. And here is the scope of a function. Each function is a discrete block of code, thus a function defines a block of scope. The curly braces defines the scope of a function. The function segment will execute or the function scope is only inside the curly braces of that particular function. A function's code is private to that function and cannot be accessed by any statement in any other function except through a call to that function. Variables that are defined within a function are local variables. Variables that are defined outside the function are called global variables. A local variable comes into existence when the function is entered and is destroyed upon function exists. The scope of the local variable comes only inside the parenthesis, curly parenthesis of that particular function. A local variable cannot hold its value between function calls. The values of the local variables can able to hold only inside the scope of that particular function. Scope of a function can also be extended, like a function also fall within function scope. Function, let me repeat, function also fall within its function scope, which means not only function local variables but also the function also falls within its scope, its own scope. Formal arguments or parameters is known throughout the entire function, comes into existence when the function is called and is destroyed when the function is exited, even though they perform the special task of receiving the value of the arguments passed to the functions. They behave like any other local variable. Here is the function naming rule. Basically, there are certain function naming rules like variable declaration. Name of function includes only alphabets, digits and underscore like variable declaration. First character of name of any function must be an alphabet or underscore. Name of function cannot be any keyword of C program, and it cannot be a global identifier. It cannot be exactly same as name of the function in the same scope. Also, function is a case sensitive. A function name with uppercase letter is not same as the function name with the lower case. The function cannot be registered a pseudo variable. And here, how function returning value and control from a function access. A function can return only one value at a time, though it can return one of several values based on the evaluation of certain conditions. Multiple return statement can be used within a single function, like if you use if statement, if else statement or looping statements. The return statement not only returns a value back to the calling function, but it also returns control back to the calling functions. Thank you for dear learners for patient listening to understanding about the function syntax. Thank you, my dear learners, once again.